Hey, all about fishing with Big Kev. Hey, we're at Canopolis Lake today. Wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about every podcast, every boat forum, everything on Facebook. Multiple times, mainly a day, somebody's asking how fast a certain boat goes, how fast a certain boat goes. You know, whether they're looking to buy one or they're thinking about it or whatever it is. They're always wondering what's the fastest it'll go. And I'm trying to figure out why that's so important. Probably 99% of the boat owners don't make any money boating. It costs you money. It costs you dearly every year, thousands of dollars minimum every year being a boat owner. And why there's such a need for speed. I can understand if you're making enough money to support your habit and you're doing the tournaments and things constantly and that's your main source of income. I understand the speed there. But as everyday normal boat owners, what's behind wanting to be so fast? You know, we're in a 19-foot boat right now, and the max horsepower on this boat is 150, and that's what's on it. And the top end speed's probably 50 mile an hour. But there's so many variables that play into that. How much fuel you got on board, how many people you got on board, you know, how many batteries, how much gear. I mean, it all adds up weight-wise, which slows the boat down. What props on it, you know? There's so many variables in how fast a boat goes. And to be honest with you, why do you need to go so fast? When you're out here, we're in Kansas right now. In Kansas, we get wind, and it's normal to have 2-foot waves. You know, even with these air ride seats, your back can only take so much beating. Your boat's only going to take so much beating. Why abuse your boat and your body to go across the lake 900 mile an hour to go fast? You got all day. Man, picture it like this. Let's say we're going to drive our vehicle. I don't care if you're in a truck, a car, or whatever it is. It doesn't matter if it's a Ford Fiesta or a $200,000 Mercedes. You're going to have the same effect. Same on boats, whether it's fiberglass, aluminum, whatever. If you were in a car and you had a half a mile of road and every 4 foot you put a 6-inch speed bump and you go across that in your car at 40 mile an hour, 50 mile an hour, yeah, it might make it to the end, but eventually you're going to beat the snot out of that car to where something's going to give. Same with your boat, you know, and you can't tell me that'd be a comfortable ride doing it. So again, I'm trying to figure out why that concern of why it's got to be so fast. You know, this boat will do 50 mile an hour with 2 people loaded full of fuel. I've probably done that maybe a half a dozen times in 5 years because my back cannot take the beating. I don't want to abuse my boat and jar the snot out of every nut and bolt in the boat. Now, one thing I will tell you, when I bought my boat, my dealer, Wakanda Boats, recommended that I go the highest horsepower that's recommended for that boat. Every boat has a maximum horsepower. And if you can afford that maximum horsepower, get that maximum horsepower. But it's not for speed, it's for whole shot. It's, you know, this boat acts completely different if I'm in full of gas with 5 people in the boat getting out of the hole versus 1 person getting out of the hole. So that's where your horsepower really comes in, is pulling you out of a hole and getting on plane. And you know, that's where it's real critical. Another critical spot, I guess, would be for horsepower, you know, maxing that on your boat would be when you're pulling toys, water skiers, tubers, all that. We don't do that, but still you're pulling a load out of a hole to get on plane. That's where your horsepower is. But yet when you get on plane, you're slowing back down to that 25, 30 mile an hour range. Number 1, you're going to save your fuel slowing down. Number 2, you're going to save the abuse on your motor slowing down. And you're going to save beating your boat all the heck. You know, 25 or 30 is a very comfortable speed on the lake. And it's safer. You know, let's think about the safety aspect. So next time, you know, you're looking at boats or you're thinking about boats, unless you're making, you know, $200,000 or $300,000 or $400,000 or $500,000 a year catching fish, pretty irrelevant. You know, if you're maxing out the horsepower to get that hole shot, you're going to have speed. Will you ever reach that top speed every day of the week? No, you're not. So think about that. And I'd like to see your comments too. You know, why do you think maximum horsepower or maximum speed of a boat is so important? And you know, kind of explain that to me, because I'm having a hard time understanding why we need to be so fast. You know, when we're out here to have fun, these things cost us tens of thousands of dollars, and why tear it up? You know, I know that, you know, this is a Lund boat, it's a good quality boat, but still, why beat it up? So anyway, just wanted to point that out. We're out here working our way over to another rocky shoreline. We're just trolling some crankbaits right now, trying to get over to a rocky shoreline and see what we can do. We've already caught one channel cat on a crankbait, throwing lipless crankbaits right now, and the lake's up 4 or 5 foot. So now where I'm in 5 foot of water right now, so now my lure's on the bottom. So anyway, wanted to throw that out there. Like and subscribe. All About Fishing with Big Kev. Hopefully this makes a little bit of sense to those of you that are looking to buy a boat. You know, max out that horsepower, but don't worry about that top end speed if you're just out having a good time and wanting to enjoy your day. You'll have the max speed if you have the max horsepower, but use that horsepower for your whole shot. Use that horsepower to pull your toys, whatever, but don't worry about getting across the lake at 900 miles an hour every day. Everybody take care. Like and subscribe. All About Fishing with Big Kev. Tie lines, everyone.